What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys a quick video. And this one is to discuss who we might get first, whether it be Jubilee or the Hood, and which role will they be, right? Both obviously come off as two characters who can easily be DPS. Now, at the same time, some people speculate we might get, Apocalypse as a playable character. Doubtful. I highly doubt that. Would it be awesome? Yes. And I would love for him to be a tank. But that, yeah, tanks and healers get ignored for the most part. And if you're a main of either one, you just know. But it's very clear that is going to be Jubilee versus the hooded guy. Jubilee being one of the four horsemen, which means there's three others here, right? That we're going to probably be getting skins for when it comes to like other characters. You have Conchu here, you have Moon Knight more than likely here, and then you have the Hood here, right? So it seems like the Hood is going to be aligning along with like Moon Knight and Conchu, so more than likely who we're going to get. So, what would y'all think the Hood and Jubilee will be, right? Because it's very clear with Jubilee's abilities and moveset and everything, the way she has it, it would be very clearly obvious that she would more than likely be a DPS, right? Now, if you look at like the last few seasons, right, from season 6 all the way to like season 9 now here soon, right? We've always gotten one of each character, at least whether it be one DPS, one tank, one healer, or one tank, vice versa, right? It's usually always like kind of altered throughout the time. Now, it's very clearly obvious from how many, duelists there are that duelist is definitely the favored, like, class. Some people will say, well, look at Luna Snow, who hasn't been, like, nerfed or anything since her, like, release, but she's, like, one of, like, quite literally one of a few characters that you can say that about. When it comes to, like, whoops, when it comes to duelists, on the other hand, duelists have gotten the skins, they've gotten the characters, they've gotten pretty much all of it. And not even just the skins and characters, but the move sets, right? Like the availability of giving you different style of moves and techniques and combos that you can have with those characters, right? Duelists get it all. When it comes to Vanguard or Strategist, they are very, very rare. Like, this is all we get for Vanguard, and this is all we get for Strategist. So, with the fact that we got a tank and a DPS in this current season, right? We had Devil Dino and we had Cyclops, right? Tank and DPS. Well, it's safe to say that whoever we get first more than likely will be a healer. And or, because at the same time, there's only 3 classes you can choose from, right? Tank, healer, DPS. The only 3. So we're more than likely going to get another tank, or we're going to get another DPS. I'm leaning towards DPS because that's just how it is. It's what they're going to do. They're not going to give us a healer tank kind of combo, and if they do, holy crap, that's kind of funny. Like, because the thing is, right, with Jubilee, they can do the same thing to her ability that they did with Gambit, right? Because Gambit should be a DPS with the way he is. Like, hands down, should be a DPS. Now, at the same time, Deadpool, who shoots people and can heal people, he is all 3 roles. And, I mean, would it be cool if we got another character that was kind of like that? Yes. But I don't think it's going to be Deadpool. Not per se. They might give us Ladypool, who will be all 3 roles, but at the same time, I doubt that. If they ever gave us Ladypool or anyone from like the other Deadpools, it would literally just be a skin. But Jubilee out of the Hood and out of her would be the one I would choose that would probably be the healer. Okay? And then when it comes to the Hood, which I don't know anything really about, other than the few videos I've seen people talk about the guy, and how his connection is with, like, the devil, and Ghost Rider and a few other characters, right? So it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. So he can be a tank, at least what most people have said. He can end up being a tank. It's like, I can see that, but then with the way his stature and frame is, why would they make him a tank and not Cyclops a tank, right? But now, granted, it'd be awesome for them to give us a Vanguard who can quite literally shoot from a distance, much like, Deadpool here. Deadpool's one of a few. Then you have Penny here who can, shoot from a decent distance. His can go a decent distance. But, like, most of these other people here are all, like, up close and personal. I mean, he can dive. You can technically dive with Penny, but I haven't really played with Penny all that much, so I don't know. Dive. Easily can dive with his abilities. He is just straight up forward. But what do you all think they're gonna do with, like, the Hood, and with, like, Jubilee? Jubilee, I can see them, like, pulling, like, a weird chrono event thing to where, like, Jubilee's powers, like, got altered in some way, so she still does, like, kinetic firework damage or whatever, but still heals people. Right? Now, how they do it, I have no idea. Would it, like, I still want Jubilee in here, but I would not be surprised if they make her a DPS. I can see them doing that. Honestly, I see them doing more of, like, a duelist season with this coming season than giving us a healer. Now, they might do this because in season 10, I'm speculating, once again speculating, that in season 10 we're going to be getting Professor X at some point in time, right? I don't think he's going to be the first character we're going to get, like, straight out the gate, but I think he is going to be a healer. I think they're going to make Professor X a support character and not no tank or DPS, because that would make zero sense. But at the same time, if they give us Professor X, why not give us Cyclops? Why not give us Doom? There's other characters in the story. Why wouldn't they give us those characters yet, or at least a variant of those characters, right? Considering the whole, like, aspect of Marvel Rivals is it's different versions of each one of these characters from different universes who, like, are coming together and trying to help fix everything, right? So if that's the premise, why would there not be a version of Doom who'd want to do that? Why would there not be a version of Apocalypse or, like, all these other bad guys? Now, granted, for all we know, we could eventually get, someone like Doom, someone like Apocalypse, and vice versa, like actual bad guys, which would be cool to add in, right? Instead of it being a shitload of, like, heroes, some anti-heroes, mainly all heroes. But, it's called Marvel Rivals, so why not have actual, like, bad guys who are, like, trying to do the good thing just to kind of, like, save existence or whatever, their reality, right? Now, when it comes to it, that's my idea. Like, I can see them making the Hood a Vanguard and then making Jubilee a healer. Now, if we get Jubilee first over the Hood, which it seems more unlikely, right? It seems we're going to get Jubilee first and foremost, and then it's going to be the Hood. So we're probably going to get her as a healer, as a strategist, because we didn't get a strategist at all this season. We did last season with White Fox, right? White Fox was the last strategist we got. So I can see them giving us Jubilee as a strategist, which will piss so many people off, but at least finally strategists will get another character to actually play as, and hopefully she ends up being really good, right? Because Gambit's, honestly, Gambit's, like, a really, really, really good character to use. Like, he is a decent healer and decent damage output character, much like Deadpool is. Like, these two are my favorite healers in the entire game so far that I've played when it comes to healers. Played a little bit of Loki, played quite a bit of Jeff. Played some Mantis. Mantis is nowhere near as bad as some people say she is. Played a match of Luna. But yeah, so it's about time that, strategists get somebody, and then if my speculation is correct, they'll get another one when it comes to Professor X. So that would be really awesome if they do that, right? Jubilee healer, then Professor X healer, and then we'll go with the Hood as a Vanguard. So then now at least Vanguards will have one other one, but at the same time, how they're gonna go about it and everything else is gonna vary. And then if they do give us a tank healer combo, right, which I don't see them doing, I see it being more of like a healer DPS combo. I don't see them making the Hood like a Vanguard, but if so, awesome, we get another Vanguard, and hopefully he is a really good Vanguard with the fact that he's gonna actually be able to, do damage from a distance. Probably not a whole lot of damage, but it's better than, running up, hopefully, your shields last or whatever before you get wiped out by the enemy team. Because if you've never tanked in this game ever, you have no idea how abysmal it is to try to get to the front line and then sit there and get wrecked by your own team, just flaming you for not lasting long enough or some stupid crap, which is one major reason why so many people aren't playing tank anymore, because they're just tired of getting crappy lobbies where no one wants them to play anything but a Doctor Strange or Magneto. It's like two characters you get to play as a tank main, and this is mainly inside of like comp, but you do get those people in quick match. But I digress. I am curious on how they're going to go about like Jubilee and the Hood. Right now, clearly, obviously, there's going to be 3 skins we're going to get, possibly even 4, considering they're probably going to give us Jubilee, like X-Men Jubilee or traditional style Jubilee, and then they're going to give us, Apocalypse, whatever version of Jubilee, right? The Horseman of like War, or Horseman of whatever, Pestilence, or whatever Horseman they make her, right? And then choose one of the other pre-existing people who were a Horseman at one point in time, like Gambit, which honestly would be cool. Give him like the Horseman of Death again. Make Wolverine maybe the Horseman of War, I think he was at one point, and then choose someone else, or even not even choose someone else. Bring Archangel back and make Archangel one of the a Horseman of the Apocalypse. But once again, at the same time, they can end up choosing like Storm or someone else for a skin, because I see it more being skins than actual characters, except for Jubilee. Now, granted, this also might be a thing to the point where Apocalypse might like span season 9 and season 10, especially if we do get Professor X in season 10, because it was the X-Men and Magneto's team up and everything that helped stop Apocalypse originally in like the comics and in the animated series and all of that, right? So what if Apocalypse isn't like, oh hey, we come across Apocalypse in season 9, by the end of season 9 he's like done for, or we win or whatever. No, I think what is going to be is we're going to get Jubilee as a Horseman, possibly 2 other skins for like 2 other characters, pre-existing characters who were Horsemen, a Horseman in the next season after that, and then Professor X as like an actual character, right? So in season 10 we're gonna get a Horseman and Professor X, right? This coming season, season 9, we're gonna get Jubilee, more than likely Jubilee first, and then the Hood, and the Hood's gonna be more of like on the side of like Khonshu, and maybe even become like a new version of Moon Knight. Doubtful, but side along with Moon Knight and Khonshu to defeat Apocalypse and basically achieve his goals. And that's the only reason why he's helping, is to achieve his goals. But I see it being more along those lines, where Jubilee, Horseman, another character, non-Horseman, and then same thing, we get a horseman, and then we get Professor X. So it'll be healer, probably DPS, more than likely, if anything, and then tank, healer. Right? It's going to be probably something along those lines. It's probably going to be healer, DPS, tank, healer for those 2 seasons. At least that's my speculation. I was hopeful that, Cyclops was going to be a Vanguard, and I gave reasons on why he could be a Vanguard, but deep down I knew he was going to be a DPS. Because why would they not make him a DPS? Which is where it's the same kind of feeling and thought process I have for the Hood and for Jubilee. Right? But at the same time, are they that stupid to sit there and literally just give us 2 duelists after giving us a broken duelist? I would hope not, but at the same time, with the nerfs that they have given to basically all the Vanguards to the point where they're basically useless, yeah, like, it's crazy. But anyways, I digress. I'm curious on what you all think the Hood's going to be. Is he going to be a DPS? Is he going to be a Vanguard? Is he going to be a strategist? I mean, that would be funny if they made him a strategist and made Jubilee a tank or some weird shit like that. It's like, oh god, please explain this. Please explain this. Considering the fact that it's like, yeah. But you never know. They might end up explaining it in a very unique way. Maybe make sense. Doubtful. But that's who I'm thinking, like, what their roles in general could be. So with Jubilee, either literal strategist or like DPS. Strategist mainly because strategists need one. DPS because it's very obvious. Okay. When it comes to the Hood, I'm leaning towards DPS. Like that would be what he would be. But at the same time, I can see him being a Vanguard just because, once again, we need Vanguards. We need more Vanguards, and we need more not DPS. We need more strategists. Vanguards and strategists are like drowning right now when it comes to like characters, movesets, and just toxic lobbies of people just wanting you to play one character while they have a slew of characters that they can choose from. Right? Like, literally, when you look at the DPS roster compared to all the other ones, it's just like, whoa. And then you go into like lobbies, like comp lobbies, where people are like, oh, play this character. Oh, if you're not gonna play this character, then you're throwing. It's like, no, I'm just playing a character that, like, just like you, I want to play this character because I'm good at this character, or I want to play this character. But that's it. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys go check out w.gg and use my code TacticalGaming90 for 10% off. W helps smaller creators much like myself with sponsorships, so if you are a smaller content creator, go check them out. You'll find out within 15 minutes if you actually qualify or not. So, worth it. They give you a little code that you can use. My link and everything will be in the comment section down below, pinned comment, and or it's on my page. Just go check it out. It's on my YouTube. That's that little link on there that says W. Use that. Use my code and get 10% off. I get a kickback and W gets business. Win-win for everybody. Hopefully Season 9 will be a little bit better, but we shall see on how it will go. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure, considering the fact that it's about apocalypse and slaying of gods, and who knows, maybe we'll get the God Slayer as a character, or like a villain or something like that, you're right? Like, literally get the God Slayer sword. Or like, a champion wielding the God Slayer sword or something along those lines. Because there's multiple ways to slay a god, and this would definitely be one of the best ways to implement, I can't remember, not Null, but the God Slayer sword. That's what I call it. I only watched Thor: Love and Thunder like twice. That woke movie, it was horrible. But anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed this. Catch me for my next one, guys. Later.